Good evening and welcome to my podcast Career Bite. Today's guest is Preetha Ajit. Preetha is currently working as a career planner with multiple platforms that includes iDream Career and Hush. She is empaneled with National Career Service as a career counselor. She is a certified psychometric testing professional. She is graduate and postgraduate in psychology from Kerala University. She has also done post-graduation in counseling and psychotherapy. She has a recognized certificate in career guidance and student counseling. She has not only traveled across India but also Middle East to interact with the students and parents to help them make an informed career decision. Thank you so much, Preetha, for joining us. Welcome to this episode.
Thank you so much, Dr. Vijay. The pleasure is all mine. Thank you. Thank you so much.
So, to begin with, why I choose this stream? I mean, why I choose to become a career counselor?
Okay, that's a little, tricky to answer, but definitely, as you have already mentioned, that I come from a psychology background and I've been doing student counseling and constantly been in touch with students. But somewhere, while being a school counselor, I realized that school counselors, at least in the school that I was associated, the kind of work that they made you do, I did not really appreciate that. So that's when I thought, okay, from school counseling, I need to move out and do something specific to the children. And then I just thought, I just had an interaction with a lady, actually, truthfully, who was running a hobby center. So I wanted to do some counseling there in the hobby center, start something of my own. But the lady asked me that why don't you start with career counseling? Because children do require that and they are looking for that. But you require a certification for that. So that's what she told, because you require some credential to do a career counseling as such. So that time I was at Bangalore, and there was an institute there which was offering career counseling. That institute no more offers career counseling certification now. So I did a 6 months program on career counseling certification, and then it just took off from there. Then it's been some good time, 6 years, 7 years now. So no looking back.
So good. Was you lucky enough to get career counselor in school or in colleges?
Not at all. Not at all. I was never counseled for my career. But thankfully, my mother was very supportive about my decision to study psychology. My mother was a school teacher, high school teacher at that time, and I had only two options with me: one, either to study English or to study psychology. But the first interview I got was for studying psychology. But yes, she gave me all the support, and then I did my post graduation. I did after some time. I wanted to get into research, but things didn't fall in place at that time to get do my research work. Yes, it went off from there, but I didn't get a career counsel. But I knew this is what I wanted to do.
Very good. In fact, in my school as well as in my college, I never got a career counselor. To be honest, I was not aware of such a thing. And I have
Yes,
done.
yes, very true, very true. Even I was not aware about such a thing. Even while studying psychology, I was not aware about such a thing, because the options that we had were very limited. So the scope of career counseling would also have been very limited, but that's not the case today.
Yes. And actually, I came in touch with these things after my marriage. My wife is a teacher educator, actually.
Okay, that's lovely. Yeah.
And she taught that B.Ed and M.Ed student, the teachers of MB government who want to pursue that B.Ed, M.Ed.
Oh, lovely, lovely.
She had done her M.Ed from that National Institute of Education, Bhopal, and she was very good in that. She enjoyed that things, not only in her schools, but teachers focus on this thing. So I learned from her. She has done her PhD in this career guidance and counseling. So instead of her focusing that, I think I should focus it on full-time basis. So she is still doing her job, but I left my job and I'm focusing on this thing.
It's just a calling, I would say, that at some point we realize what we actually would want to do, and it takes a lot of courage, and I highly appreciate you for that, that you just thought, yes, at this stage of your life, no, I want to start afresh, and this is what I really want to do. Hats off to you.
Thank you so much. Actually, I realized that in my whether I was in school or in college, there have been so many students who had the potential, but they could not achieve. Maybe I was lucky to get God blessings or guidance from some seniors, or maybe God willing that I reached from here. I reached at this stage. And in fact, if I could have got some career counselor or guide, maybe I would have been in some better position. But there have been so many students I know from my school days who was very good, in fact, better than me that I thought. But they are now at very, mediocre stage or other below than average stage. So when I visit my hometown and see them, I realize that, oh my God, if they could have got some support, they would have been very good position. So that made me to take the bold step and move on this path. Actually.
Very courageous, yeah.
So actually still, maybe in current stage 2021, there are so many parents, they do not believe in this career counseling thing, and they do not take their kids to the, to certain certified counselor or so. And even most of the schools, I don't know about your state, but in MP, almost 90% schools do not have career counselor.
Yes,
So,
most of the schools definitely do not have career counselors.
so what do you think? How in even they do not have career counselor certified? So don't you think that the life of students are almost at stake, you can say, because they're not aware of their calling, the right career for them. So they're just following the herd, what others are doing, what their parents are saying, or things like that. So how this scenario can be changed?
Here I would like to start with one of my very small experience, very, very small. When I was doing my certification in career counseling, so I had this project where I had to counsel few students and make a case study of that. So in the apartment or the apartment complex where I was staying, so I had called for a 10th standard student to come and meet me, and she very willingly said yes. But at the time of the interview or the counseling process to happen, the child did not turn up. So I was really very upset why the child did not turn up. So later on, when I met the child told, my mother told, you are already, don't go to a counselor. They would brainwash you and make you do something else. So now that you have already decided what you want to do, please stick to it. So a place like Bangalore, from a very educated background where this particular case the student comes from, so even for them, they feel counseling to some might be misguiding. So there are till now it is yet to be accepted, even in the very cosmopolitan cities also, they feel career counseling is only required for those children who are mediocre or below average. Whereas that is not the truth. Gifted children equally require, because they have the potential for so many things.
Yes.
To streamline their energy in the right direction, you require someone to handhold them and give them that direction. They will take off from there, but to give them that direction, it is required. So I always again tell this: if you want to construct a house, you don't think twice, you go to an architect.
Yes.
But if you want to construct your life, if you want to construct your career, you never visit a career counselor. That's very much there. Schools are reluctant. They say we are taking fees for so many things. How can we take fees for? They don't mind giving tuitions, integrated coaching for JEE or
Yes,
engineering
yes,
and
yes.
medical sciences, and they take it as a pride. The more number of students getting enrolled for these courses, they take it as a pride. But what about the other students who did not make it? That they never think of. We have
Yes.
a long way to go.
Yes, definitely. And that you mentioned, even the student who is qualifying JE, they don't know whether that person is interested or not. Or he or
Exactly.
she is doing just under pressure from our parents and school.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Because I met few, I mean, kids of my friends. So I realized when I discussed with them alone, so they told me, Uncle, actually I wanted to do this thing, but because of my parents, they told me, yeah, you have the potential, your marks comes in 90, you can do that. Teachers had pushed, the parents had pushed, and that's why I chose this path. But I don't think this is suitable for me. Maybe after I start my career after a few years, maybe I will change my things. And this has happened, this has happened for so many cases. And
Yes, it is. No, it's there.
I would like to share one more thing. A good friend of mine, we are friends for last 25 years. He called me around few months back that my daughter is in class 12th and I want to uh, choose a career for her. So what you suggest? I told him I want to talk to her. He refused. No, you tell me what I need to do. She don't know about things. You just tell me what is required to be done. And after so much, I persisted to talk with her, but she has not allowed me. And you told me what is required to be done. I will pass on to her. So this is the scenario.
Absolutely, absolutely. Because that means the parents have some dream, they know that the child's dream is something else. So that's the reason why they do not want might be the child is thinking of an offbeat career, which the risk factor of success, according to the parent, is very high. So, where you do not believe in your child's potential, basically.
Yes, yes. So maybe they are fulfilling their unfulfilled dreams,
Absolutely. They live their dreams through their children.
or maybe they are not confident about their kids, the potential of their kids, and they want a safe space for them so that they
Yes,
keep on earning enough to be that.
absolutely. Absolutely. True. I don't know what the word enough means for different people, different, meaning, but yes, very true.
So for the audience, I would like, what is this process of counseling? What if someone comes to you for career counseling? What is the process that you follow?
Okay. So, generally, whenever a client, a student, or even a working professional who comes to me, if it is a student, I follow a different technique. If it is a professional, I follow a different technique,
Definitely.
working professional. So, if it is a student, I depending upon what the requirement, it's basically what the requirement of your client is. Depending on that, the number of sessions would, will be decided, whether it is 2 sessions, 3 sessions, or so on. So minimum what I give is 2 face-to-face sessions. I insist that minimum at least 2 sessions is required, because many parents feel that, oh, no, 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 1 hour you should be able to decide. No, it is not possible. So minimum 2 sessions, I insist that should be there. And I also administer a psychometric assessment when it comes to school children. When it is, or when it is not a student, and when they've already invested a good number of years in a particular stream, and they have pursued halfway or mostly completed, or they're in the job, then in that case, I first take a session, discuss them, sometimes 1 hour, even 1.5 hours, because grown up adults do have the energy to continue for a longer time, whereas children do not have. For
Yes.
children, I finish it by 40 to 60 minutes maximum. For adults, it takes a little longer. Then I understand there, I do not administer psychometric assessment. So it is mostly, listening and speaking skills that I use most. And then to identify, because they are sure what are their area of interest, what they studied. They are in the career confusion because they do not want to pursue what they have studied,
Yes.
and they're clear, this is mostly, they are clear, this is what I want to do. So there, what you require is mostly guidance, how to go about it. If they are not sure how to, I mean, what they would want to do, then it is counseling to clear their, confused mind, give them clarity, and then give them direction. So ideally, I would say one rapport building session, one psychometric assessment, and a follow-up session to that. So this is the general structure. But if it is college admission or things like that, then it will extend a little more, because it depends on the application process and things like that. For example, for a 12th standard student, I would maintain a tracker for the student. Which entrance exams, in an Excel format or a Google Sheet format, I maintain a tracker shared with the parent as well as the child. I suggest might be 10 to 15 colleges or entrance examinations in the same sector. For especially in case of engineering, there are so many entrance examinations.
Yes.
So you give them a set of colleges and the set of entrance examinations and ask them to keep a track of it. Whenever the notifications are out, I enter in that Excel sheet. I give the official link to that so that they do the filling. I do not do application filling for anyone.
Yes.
So that's generally how I see for a 12th standard student. So it depends from student to student, client to client, what their requirements are. But yes, minimum 2 sessions I would definitely insist on.
A little while ago, you mentioned the term handhold.
Yes.
How you handhold them?
Okay. So hand holding, it again case to case. In the rapport building session, I give them some materials, resource links to read and understand about particular careers. Because till the time you do not know what are the possibilities out there, you will not be able to make up your mind. So once they read, sometimes they do not read also. Let me also tell, sometimes they do not read. But then you will have to tell them, okay, and children, the first thing, especially students, how much will I earn? That's the first question.
Yes.
For them, success in a career is directly proportionate to the salary you get.
Yes.
Okay. So they feel good salary means good respect, big house, big car. Those are their definitions of success. Over a period of time, definitely it changes. You cannot blame them. If the world is materialistic, so they think like that. So, once the 2 sessions are over with my student, any career query they have, I give them a chat access to them for a minimum of 1 year. That's what I offer. So even either the parent or the student, any career query, it might be that halfway in 11th standard, they feel this is not the subject I want to change my elective subject. So what if I take economics and drop computer science? I'm just telling a random example. So children could ask like that. So, that surety, yes, Preeta is there. You can drop a message to her. She will help you out with some insight. The decision making at the end of the day, they make. But, giving that resource, what are the challenges you probably would face, or what are the potential for you, or the probability for you to succeed in that particular area? Those are the things that they are looking from me. And if it is college, as I said, they would say, okay, Bangalore, I want these colleges. I want specific colleges in this subject. Recently, someone came, I want psychology. I do not want combination subjects in psychology. I want it specifically either at Bangalore or Mysore.
Very
You
good.
know, so to find out the resource, give them the right information. So that becomes hand holding. Today, someone had messaged me, I want to know aviation is the place I want to know. Graduation in aviation. So I asked, is it a management you are looking for? So they are clueless. So now once you give them different courses in aviation, then they will, whatever they shortlist, they probably should ask me, what is the outcome if I study management? What is the outcome? So aviation can also mean flying.
Yes.
It can be a pilot also. So, those kind of things. So that's exactly where hand holding happens, to give them clarity, further clarity.
Yes. That reminds me that, in fact, it happened with my son as well. After starting his 11th, actually, after passing 10th, he took PCM. In fact, because I was
Okay.
from science background, engineering background, he took PCM. After, few days, he told me, Papa, I don't want to do this thing and I want to switch to commerce. Why? I don't want to become engineer. Okay, doesn't matter. Just complete with PCM, then you can do what. If I'm not going to do engineering, why should I focus on this thing? And I want to become an entrepreneur. So I want to take commerce. It was a difficult task, but of course, I went to Delhi and changed from CBSE to that thing. And of course, he is now following that path as an entrepreneur. So yes, that clarity you sometimes they can develop on his or her own self. Sometimes it needs the support of a career counselor to have that clarity, as you mentioned.
Yes, yes. Sometimes parents don't have time.
Yes,
Sometimes parents don't know which is the authentic site to look into, or
yes,
which are the governing bodies that they should be looking in for. These are the areas where it's not just about identifying a course or college, whether it is accredited, whether it has an
yes,
affiliation.
yes.
Those technical information is what generally the general public lack.
And I think parents are not the right persons to, become to make their kid make the right decision because they have some partiality.
Absolutely. So I also do, Dr. Vijay, I also certify counselors, majorly in career counseling. I train them, facilitate them, and do
Yeah.
mentoring. So many of the parents join the certification program to understand the different pathways for their children.
Yes. Yes.
Okay. So I categorically tell them, please do not counsel your own children. At the end of the day, you are a parent to your child. You
Yes.
would definitely become biased. You cannot be impartial and say, no, my child is like this. You won't be able to identify it rightly. So I tell it, and it is a fact. Even if I always tell for my children, I can never do counseling for my children because they will also take me as their parent, mother only. They cannot take me as a career counselor.
And for parents,
So
I think security is the main concern.
yes,
I think.
what if my child falters?
Yes.
What if my child doesn't score good? What if my child doesn't get placement before she or he
Yes.
completes the college? I say it is all right. Long back, just as soon as I ventured into career counseling, I was lucky enough to address IIT Madras in their as part of their alumni program. So, in fact, there were a lot of questions on placement. That was just before the placement program. So I told there is life outside the gate of the IIT also. No company would want all the 150 students to be
Yes.
placed. They would require only 5 or 6. You will have 10 companies or 15 companies into 5 coming to you. So what about the other children? Life doesn't stop there. That is where exactly you show your potential, where you hunt and find out what kind of job you want to get placed. So there are different criteria parents actually have. They keep their, yardsticks, and everything needs to fall in place according to the
Yes.
yardstick. Then only they think, success is there.
They play in safe zone.
Yes, very safe zone. Exactly. I feel many times it is not the child, but the parent most of the time who require counseling. And they do not want their children to come out of the comfort zone.
Yes.
They do not want their children to take risk. They do not even calculated risk.
Yes.
It is not blind risk, but calculated risk. That also they do not permit. Yes, there are children who take things for granted, but you cannot generalize that.
Yes, yes, yes. You have to believe on them.
Yes.
And what are your experiences? But the persons who are already professionals, maybe some are have more age as you compared to some male. Maybe they have their own ego, their own perspective. So I think it must be a difficult task.
I would suggest, I haven't, got clients 60 plus or so. But my clients are mostly in might be below 40 who are working. So I'd say few examples. Recently, there was a 29-year-old young gentleman who is in the space of, I mean, I cannot even say specifically one place, but he has studied BBA. Soon after that, he got placed in the school campus recruitment program itself. He just stopped himself from studying or upskilling further.
Just
You
because he
know?
got the job.
So big, yes. So at an age of 21, getting a handsome salary is independence. So your quest to study finishes there completely. And after 8 years, he is coming to me and telling, for whatever reason, I have never thought of studying something. I said, the world has evolved in this 8 years
Yes, yes,
and you haven't upskilled yourself. So then in that case, thankfully, again, for youngsters, they do not want to, they do not have the patience for multiple sessions. What they're looking is for immediate validation, immediate results, justification. They just want completely immediately quick fix solutions. So they would say, no, no, ma'am, it's okay. I can sit for another half an hour, but you just tell me what are the techniques that I should follow. I feel sorry for them. I actually feel sorry for them because they feel if they are paying me X amount,
yes,
they should. It is a MNC culture that I am paying you so much money. You should give me that full whatever resources you can provide me. So there, the time limit, anything they do not consider at all, because speaking for a counselor is also a lot of energy involvement.
yes,
It is
yes,
not just speaking, you're simultaneously very rationally thinking also whether this would suit you. If it suits you, how should I put it across? There is a lot of thinking process happening. So
definitely.
after an hour or so, the counselor's productivity also dips.
Yes, yes, yes.
So that happens, but for whatever reason, they do not understand. In fact, another one more example I would suggest. Recently, one parent had reached out to me for a school student. The child is extremely good, and they are looking for a particular university. And at the end of the day, I said I would share some prospectus with you. You may please go through it and understand. This gentleman, I felt really offended, and I told them also that, sir, I felt offended the way you spoke. So this gentleman told me, please go through the prospectus and tell me which are the relevant pages I should read. That is why we had taken your service.
My goodness.
So, they are educated. We expect them to be educated.
Yes, yes,
We expect them to be. So that I always feel being literate and being educated makes a sea of difference. So there are a lot of clients like this. I know as years are going by, I feel I'm getting more and more worse clients. Or challenging clients. Might be worse is a wrong word. My apologies. Might be more challenging clients.
challenging client.
Yes.
Learn from them.
Definitely is. Lot of learning from them. Lot of learning. It is refining me as a counselor.
Somewhere I read that we must thank the difficult person that came in our life, because that made our life better.
Yes, 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 absolutely. So I am heart of hearts thanking this parent so that I took the patience to read 169 pages and identify. So there are a lot of things now I am clear with for a particular admission.
Yes, yes.
Okay. So yes, everything I take it definitely positively. I take everything as learning. I take all the challenges as my growth.
And what is your best experience?
Best experience. I would say recently I had a very recently, might be couple of months or by 2021. In fact, of all this counseling that I had done, though there are sessions where students have made it to IB also, my students. But I do not take a credit for that because it is their hard work
Yes.
if they have made it. Yes, they were my students. I did not help them in the application process. I did not help them in. Yes, I gave them direction. They took up from there. So that way the student made big. But my counseling session that I felt very fruitful was recently I had four students from four different schools, and they had in the very same single day it happened that I had all the four students, and they had come for counseling. It was my follow-up sessions with them, and the way these children, no, they were from the same school, I'm so sorry, they're from the same school, and the way the children had done their homework while coming up for the follow-up sessions, it, as a counselor, I have never felt more satisfied than those sessions, because they're not expecting that I will get a platter full and I'll just take it. They have done, they have seen what was my previous recommendation and what could they contribute to it. You know, it becomes a two-way process, and that makes the session really great. That's really very sad. At least for me, the child's involvement, child, taking one step forward towards it, towards that, to understand it, towards studying, towards writing the entrance. That's the different. That's a natural, I would say, natural transition from one stream. You write a NEET entrance as a natural transition from PCB. You write JEE entrance as a natural transition from, PCM. Many children write management or think of getting into CACS as a natural transition to commerce stream. So fewer natural transitions, but you doing reading further what a CS does it actually match with what I am aspiring? So those things makes a lot of difference.
Yes, actually, as you mentioned, I too believe in empowering my students instead of providing them a ready-made solution. If they are doing their homework, that's where the empowerment happens.
Yes. Otherwise, they're completely dependent. Every time they come and ask you,
Yeah.
you give a solution, they just, follow that instructions. So here you are not empowering them. You're just, might be they feel that my counselor is very efficient because I'm getting all my solutions. But actually, I'm spoiling their habit.
Yes, spoon feeding it.
Yes,
That's not good for them. That I do
absolutely.
believe in that. Okay, so moving ahead, do you suggest any book for parents to read so that they can have, I mean, a broader mindset or have a long-term vision for their kids?
So when we are speaking about parents reading particular books, there are a lot of books available out in the market. There are, fortnightly magazines coming out or monthly magazines coming out. Though I wouldn't want to name any, which I might become biased if I name any one or
Yes,
two magazines. So I definitely they can read that. I would suggest if it is ranking, I strictly follow NIRF ranking.
very good.
So otherwise, I feel CBSE has come out with their compendium, because when parents take the decision, it is majorly stream selection or immediate which college or course to take after 12th. Once the student is in graduation, parents' decision making, authority becomes a little less. Then the children take over. It is child initiated trajectory. Parental influence becomes less. So still for 12th standard, that's a very good book. On the CBSE website, it is there as a PDF document. You can download it.
Very good.
They put it in an alphabetical order. So which subject you can take, if you need to take that course of action, what are the entrances you need to write, what are the subjects you need to study, all these are given very, very systematically. I would suggest, there are a lot of other books, private publishers, but this is one which very systematically it's been provided.
Very
So
good.
that could be something, or when it comes to accreditation, affiliations, NAC, AICT, all official websites. I do it like that. I go through AICT, I go through NAC, NBA, I go through all these bodies before I suggest something to a student.
Very good. So coming to the books, which is your preferred book? It doesn't matter. I'm not talking about the counseling or something in general.
Preferred book means my reading.
Yes, you like the
Okay.
most.
Okay. So I would say still now God of Small Things.
Okay. Arundhati Rai.
Yeah. Arundhati Roy. God of Small Things is something that I have really able to connect with. I mostly read Indian authors, English, English Indian authors.
Yes, yes.
So that I am able to relate to what they are speaking to, the environment, what they are speaking about. So my reading about Western authors are very, very limited or next to nil, I can say that. But God of Small Things, because I'm a Keralite and the context was mostly Kerala there, so I was able to relate, really very well. And still now, even the first page, the cover of that novel, it's still fresh in my mind
Yes.
after so many years also. Yeah.
Before becoming a company, you were a teacher.
Yes.
I read a book, To Serve with Love. Have you listened to this book?
Yes, 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 yes. So if I'm not mistaken, that book has been made into a movie also, To Serve with Love.
Yes. I
Yes,
don't remember the name of the author, but I loved that book, To
yes,
Serve with Love. I think very good plot and everything. I love that book in every respect
yes.
because that person made the huge change in the life of their children, that students, and that's fine.
Student.
So I think if you haven't read that book, I suggest you to go through it. You would love it.
Great. Yes, thanks, thanks, thanks. I would definitely, because I remember watching the movie. I don't know whether it is the novel, book I've read, or watching the movie. One among those I've done. Definitely, yes.
And who are the persons who influenced you most?
Okay, that's again a very difficult, answer because I strongly I don't see anyone who have influenced me that much to make a life changing decision or to choose a particular pathway. But yes, in different stages, different people have influenced me, and that had molded me as a person. For example, because I learned the subject psychology, while you are doing your graduation in psychology, I've really heard from my other fellow psychology classmates. So you learn about yourself, you
Yes,
understand whom you
yes,
are.
yes, yes. That's the most
People
important
say,
thing.
yeah. So people say you learn what others are. I would say you learn who you are when you study. So it becomes easy for you to adjust with other people. So there, my teachers had made a great influence on me as a person. My postgraduate head of the department, Mrs. Kumari Bhagavati, she had made a huge impact on me. There are a lot of teachers, I would say, a lot of teachers, and might be as a very personal person, Preeta. My mother is a person who have influenced me to a great extent. How to look into things, how to take things casually and take it as it comes. So yes, my teachers and my mother, who's again happens to be a teacher.
But and what is your greatest strength there to consider?
My greatest strength. People say it's that I am always smile, which I feel is my strength definitely. Uh, because people don't feel hesitant to speak to me because I'm always pleasant.
There.
And the second thing is, I feel I'm I don't know whether it is appropriate for me to say, but I'm always very, very humble to people around me.
So
I always make it a point to be humble to people around me. So that, irrespective of what status, social status, or educational background they come from, I give them all equal weightage, equal importance.
I think
And
these two are, I'm sorry to interrupt. I think these two are the important requirement to become a good counselor.
so yes, it is important. Along with that, articulation, how
Yes.
you speak, your speaking and listening, that itself does more than half your work. If you're able to articulate rightly, if you're able to give your lend your ears to someone with patience, then most half of your work is done.
Yes, I think as you mentioned, listening is more, I think, very important factor, because
Yes,
so many people used to once without they respond without actually listening that person. So as a
yes,
counselor, as a coach, I think it's very important for us to listen properly without any disturbance and without even thinking what we are going to respond or how we are going to respond. Because if we listen
yes.
attentively with full attention, we are going to suggest them or rather make them a better whatever
So yeah,
they
as the saying goes, most of the people listen to answer.
answer. Yes, very good.
So rather than, it should be listening mostly to understand what the other person is going through, be more empathetic to them.
Any quote that you live by or like?
I don't live by it, but I strongly believe the woods are lovely, dark, and deep. I have promises to keep. Miles to go before I sleep. Miles to go before I sleep.
Yeah. And coming to that thing, what make you awake at night?
Nothing. Absolutely nothing. I get a sound sleep, absolutely sound sleep. As I mentioned, as a person, I am not at all anxious. I take life as it comes. So because of that, there are not much things that bothers me. Yes, definitely there are some particular stages in life where something really is eating you, that where it might take a little long for you to fall asleep because something is bothering you very personally. But otherwise, if I that might be once in 100 days or so. Otherwise, there's hardly anything that's bothering me. And I I'm with a lot of energy and positivity. So nothing really actually hampers my peace.
That's very good. That's very good. And I think a good counselor, good coach should do that, because I feel sometimes I take the onus of my student or my coach on me, and that should not happen. I understand that.
Oh
But
yes, yes, yes. So yes, we feel that our effectiveness, our responsibility is to lead through them. Not at all. We needn't leave their life. We need to be very specific to the concern that they have highlighted. So
yeah,
yes, then it will become sleepless night. Oh my God, my student did
yeah,
not get admission till now. How
yeah.
am I going to handle it? What will I do? What if? What if? You know, that will bother us.
It has happened with me sometimes. Like some parents come, my son has done this thing and that thing and help me to get a job. I tried my best, but I can guide him, I can suggest him, I can tell him the appropriate action steps that are required to be done. But ultimately, he will have to take the right steps, because until unless he's taking
Yes,
the right step, he's not going to get it, because he's going to face the interview. I can make him to network better, है ना, to prepare uh, in a almost perfect way for a appropriate job, but he will have to face the interview. He will have to position himself for that thing, है ना? So I think sometimes
yes,
it
and
becomes
many times we do suggest, but they do not practice it.
yes,
So then you cannot help it.
yes. So that becomes important, but yet it happens because sometimes they expect us to provide them a ready-made solution.
Yes, yes, absolutely agree with you. Absolutely. So that is exactly when I keep using the word hand holding and not spoon feeding. I tell to every single client, I would be hand holding you, but I will not be spoon
So
feeding you.
feeding,
Some people get offended, but I tell them the reason behind that.
yes,
They feel we have come to you. Why are you not spoon feeding us? I tell them why I am not doing it, because there cannot be a Preeta always behind you in
yes,
life.
yes, yes, yes. That will be making them weak, in fact.
Yes, Yes.
That will be selfish of us.
Yes,
If you
absolutely, absolutely.
So, what is in store for you? Maybe after 10 years or so.
Okay. So in career, I would want to, people think career counseling or counselor as a job gets stagnated, which I do not feel. So I feel there is a lot of way to go ahead. So now I am actually looking for, avenues where, as of now, my target audience are mostly school children and might be early years of graduation, though I do have others, but they are very scanty and less, the working professionals. But I really want to work with might be test development, psychometric testing development, developmenting of a test, or might be working with a company. No, because
I think we lost her. Maybe poor connection. Okay, we lost her because of network problem also. I think we will continue after a while. I think what she suggested is worth considering. Career counseling is an important part that we must undertake. It changes life. We as a parents must understand that career counseling is very important for the kids. For the student, they must understand whether in college or in school, that career counseling they must go through, because through career counseling only you will be able to make the right decision, what is best for you. In discussion with career counselor, you make the right decision, go ahead. I think we end it here. Thank you so much.